Task Force, present arms.
At this time, Sergeant Major Carver, the Task Force Sergeant Major, will deliver the colors to Brigadier General Turner. You are about to witness the transfer of Task Force Southwest colors from Brigadier General Turner to Brigadier General Watson, signifying the transfer of responsibility of Operations Resolute Support and Freedom Sentinel here in Helmand Province.
Task Force, order! Arms!
With the transfer of the colors,
Array! Rest!
Brigadier General Watson assumes the command responsibility of the Task Force Southwest mission.
Task Force, present!
Again, thanks to all for joining us for this important ceremony today. I want to lead off by addressing the formation and who you represent. The soldiers of the 215th Corps, the police of the 505th Zone, and the National Directorate of Security Forces here in Afghanistan. The momentum in Afghanistan now has shifted in favor of these forces. The ANDSF are confident and capable of carrying the fight to the enemy, and with our help, they will sustain this over the coming year. As we speak, the ANDSF are conducting offensive operations in 13 of Afghanistan's 34 provinces, but it started right here in Helmand. The Taliban strategy of dominating terrain inside Afghanistan, seizing provincial capitals, seizing districts, this strategy is being defeated. They now face a simple decision, which is becoming ever more real for them: reconcile or die. It has been the 215th Corps, enabled by Task Force Southwest, who have been key to delivering this reality to the enemy. You have been the main effort for Resolute Support. You have enabled the Afghan Army, the Afghan Police, and the NDS. You brilliantly supported them, and in so doing, not only supported the people of Helmand, but the people of Afghanistan as well, the vast majority of whom reject terrorism and reject the Taliban and what they stand for. This has not only had an effect inside Afghanistan, but in our homelands as well. By protecting the United States and the homelands of our allies, you're doing a tremendous service indeed to the entire globe. Now, the Taliban, and especially their senior leadership, are seriously questioning their future here in Helmand. And this is because Helmand is so important to their strength and their revenue that they are questioning their viability overall. You know this because you've had a front row seat to this fight over the last year. That what the ANDSF are capable of when they are expertly advised and superbly supported as you have done. The enemy also knows, since the announcement of the new South Asia strategy in August, that the United States is no longer bound by arbitrary timelines in Afghanistan. The enemy is feeling the military pressure on the battlefield and the pressure from the entire coalition. The enemy is feeling diplomatic and other forms of pressure on their sanctuaries outside of Afghanistan. And this year, with the elections that are going to be held, the enemy will feel social pressure at the ballot box as the Afghan people freely elect their leadership. And in the face of these forms of pressure, the Taliban cannot win, and they know it. Now, the reason we're seated here today at this ceremony is a transfer of authority between two great commanders and two great units. And on the one hand, we're losing a trusted comrade and brother in the form of General Roger Turner. We're really excited about gaining another in the form of Ben Watson. So, Roger, I want to take a moment to recognize your personal efforts and leadership. In this theater, we employ a thing called Mission Command. It's built on a shared visualization of the battlefield and a mutual understanding of the intent. We communicate weekly, sometimes daily. Roger and I have over the last year. What am I seeing? What is he seeing? What's the intent? What are the next steps? This dialogue has never been better, in my experience, in the Armed Forces than we have had with Roger Turner at Task Force Southwest. And because he has been so good at the exercise of mission command, it has enabled this command to use its initiative, creativity, experience, and seasoned judgment to deliver effects on the battlefield. Now, this has placed a lot of responsibility on your commander, on Roger Turner personally, and especially on the team to use this initiative, but you have done so brilliantly. And as I said, as best as I've ever seen it done anywhere. And I know that because of General Turner's humility, he does not want to take personal credit for any of this. He will give all the credit to his Afghan comrades and to the great team that he has led. And I also want to mention Colonel Matt Reed and Command Sergeant Major Carver, as well as General Ahmadzai. And of course, they all deserve enormous credit. I'll talk about that in a second. But I also want to say to Roger, your personal humility, your soft-spoken manner belies a leader of tremendous intellect, character, and one who understands the moral dimension of war. You restored confidence and competence in the Afghan forces here in this important province of Helmand. And it literally turned the effort around. And it was an incredible display of leadership, and I'm very grateful to have had the opportunity to serve with you. So thank you, Roger, for what you've done. I want to say a special thanks to Colonel Matt Reed and Command Sergeant Major Carver of the 6th Marine Regiment for their phenomenal work. You led a learning organization, and I watched you guys take a problem, learn how to solve it, and then apply those lessons brilliantly. And then we are now trying to expand that learning to the rest of our command and take what you did here in Helmand and ensure that we can do that across the entire country as we go on the offensive in all of our corps and not just in the 215th. The work you did in terms of applying over 500 strikes in support of General Ahmadzai and doing it in a way that had minimal unintended effects and optimized their ability was simply brilliant. Thank you for that, Matt and Sergeant Major Carver. Most importantly, I want to recognize the tremendous partnership that existed between Task Force Southwest, General Turner, and General Ahmadzai and the 215th Corps. Together, you have built up the offensive spirit of the 215th Corps, breaking out of fixed site security, going on the offensive now in the 10th and 11th version of Operation Maiwand, taking the fight to the enemy in places that Marines know so well, places like Marja, Sangin, and Lashkar Gah, but also experiencing a 40% decrease in casualties. Partnership that existed between Task Force Southwest, General Turner, and General Ahmadzai and the 215th Corps. Together, you have built up the offensive spirit of the 215th Corps, breaking out of fixed site security, going on the offensive now in the 10th and 11th version of Operation Maiwand, taking the fight to the enemy in places that Marines know so well, places like Marja, Sangin, and Lashkar Gah, but also experiencing a 40% decrease in casualties. So think about that, going on the offensive and reducing their casualties at the same time. This all started in April with the Maiwand series of exercises under General Ahmadzai's leadership, series of operations, but has continued unabated through the winter. And we know that with General Watson and the team of the 8th Marines, this is only going to continue. I also want to compliment the superb integration with special operations and with Air Force strikes inside Helmand, all synchronized within your operations at your level and done superbly. So I haven't even scratched the surface of the success experienced by Task Force Southwest and the ANDSF, but I want to also mention how some of these efforts are going to endure under General Watson and the 8th Marines. So the casualty evacuation times here for the Afghans in theater reduced dramatically to 90 minutes. And you think about what this does for the morale of the force, knowing that they can get their casualties off the battlefield quickly and that they can be cared for. And this has, again, been a result of the tremendous advising that they've received. The development of the operational readiness cycles have been instrumental to the success of this Corps and this effort. The ability to pull kandaks out of the fight, reman them, re-equip them, retrain them, and get them back into the fight has been simply incredible. At least 4 times on General Turner's watch, 2 more kandaks in the operational readiness cycle right now. Again, superb job, and it's not slowing down. So we know again that you'll sustain this initiative going forward. And so again, to the formation of the service members, non-commissioned officers, leaders of the 205th Corps, the 505th Zone, to all the elements of the ANDSF who accomplished this, thank you for what you have done in Helmand. We know that this gain has come at great cost, and we pray for the families of those brave Afghans who have been killed, and for those who have been wounded, we pray that they will fully recover. And so to Roger Turner, Colonel Reed, Sergeant Major Carver, you and your great team from the 6th Marines, you have honored our fallen with the exceptional quality of your service. Well done, and Godspeed to all of you as you reunite with your families, and Godspeed to you, Ben Watson, and your team as we continue to take this fight to the enemy. So thank you. Tashakor Dermanana.